Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at tablemon. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we're going to be playing with the Charizard Gallade deck that did top 8 actually at the Yokohama Champions League tournament this past weekend. Very interesting deck for sure, and of course this is the list that did well. We cannot play this exact list in today's video as we do have the 151 Charmander in the deck list, which has 70 HP, which of course is fantastic for the deck to not be weak to Sableye. However, we will be accommodating to that and playing 2 of the 60 HP Charmander, 2 in place, right? So 3 total, in order to be able to play with the deck. Nothing else changes about the list. The deck focuses on Charizard EX with the backup of the Kirlia and Gallade engine to be able to draw a lot of cards with Refinement and find the right supporter at the right time with Body Catch. Of course, Body Catch is sort of like your replacement to Pidgeot EX. Of course, nothing can replace Pidgeot EX. However, usually towards the end of the game, you're using Pidgeot for boss, which Gallade can Body Catch for boss, and you are not weak to Path to Peak, right? That's the key card that really makes Gallade stand out in this version of the deck. We also have to Mew with a Mysterious Tail to help you dig, to find those rare candies, help with that setup, and combined with Refinement, you're using 1 Refinement, 2 Refinements, that's 4 cards, and then you're looking at the next 7 cards. I don't even have enough fingers to show that you're looking at 11 different cards off the top to look for that rare candy. 10, because Mysterious Tail, I was thinking of Pokémon Mysterious Tail, so I do have enough fingers, yeah? 10 cards deep into the deck to find that crucial rare candy to get into a Charizard EX, hopefully on turn 2, and start wrecking your opponent's board that way. Now, having these little basic Pokemon also benefits the deck in the sense that if your Mew goes down, if a Ralts goes down, even if a Charmander goes down, then now Charizard is slightly powered up, right? And 210 is a pretty important number. 220 is the key number, however, and there's no way for this deck to reach that, so that can be pretty important and make you a little weak to Pal sort of decks. Even Miraidon can maybe be a little difficult, although Miraidon is good overall. But yeah, outside of that, the engine is basically Gardevoir. There's no Fog Crystal, of course, but there is the Battle VIP Pass, the Level Balls, and Ultra Balls. Then you have Jet Energy to make sure that none of your Pokemon are stranded, and you can Jet into a Mew, use its ability again, and then retreat and continue attacking with Charizard EX. You have the 1 of Reversal Energy to attack with Gallade's attack to 160. Maybe helps you with the price trade-off. You could play a Radiant Charizard card in here for sure, since you're already running fires. It's a single price attacker. Retreating into it could be a little difficult though, so it's part of the reason why it's not here, because we don't have any actual switching cards. And because of that, I think Radiant Serena is potentially an even better choice here, because it makes your Charizard EX that much bulkier and helps you deal with the spread attacks, spread decks rather, such as Lost Box, which is already a good matchup, but especially Rapid Strike decks. So pretty cool deck. Let's jump into the action, see how it does. If you want to support the channel, you can use code tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyperbeam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el Centro Comercial Otay. Alright, so let's get this started. I've played with this deck a decent-ish amount. Sometimes you can get these hands. Yeah, hopefully we're up against a deck that cannot attack on turn 1. Rain Greninja, could be Lost Box, could be Gardevoir, could be many things. So we have Rare Candy Charizard, we have nothing else we can do. There is a World War potentially attached. Retreat into the Ralts would be correct. Now we see the Battle VIP Pass, so we're about to find out a little more, and it is indeed Lost Box. So never a good sign when they just start the raw Battle VIP Pass. It goes for the concealed cards as well. So at this point, we're hoping they don't hit like Lost Vacuum, Cramorant. Benching that third Comfey, definitely a mistake. There's no need, not a mistake, just like less than optimal. There's no need to do that to fill up your bench. You might not need that third Comfey. I am going to wager it's not even gonna be used at all. So I don't know. We do see an Echoing Horn, so Echoing Horn, Roxanne, and then this Lightning probably means this is Kyogre. Alright, so definitely a scary situation here. So we're gonna see the retreat onto the Comfey, missing a switching card. Lost Zones, a Psychic, and no switching yet. This is probably the dig. Super Odd, Forest Sealstone and Sableye goes away. And there's a switch card. Yeah, so weird sequencing. And it goes for a Lost Vacuum as well. Weird sequencing by my opponent. That third Comfey, of course, went unused as expected. But what are you gonna do? So we start off a price down. And I mean, so Rare Candy took a late does stop the Cramorant from taking a knockout, but also stops me from doing much. So I'm gonna give up on the Kirlia, and then we're gonna have to rely on benching double Charmander and seeing what's up. However, seems like we're not even gonna bench anything at all. Probably should have super routed back the Charmander before I clicked. I've just like basically given up. And on to the next game. Alright, so a potentially better start. I'm gonna start with the Ralts to not give out information to my opponent, even though, I mean, I'm going first, so it's not gonna matter really. With this not so great hand, presumably against another Charizard deck. Yep. Ooh, a mirror match. Alright, so that Kirlia top deck is actually pretty nice. Definitely need to establish a Mew right here. And I think going for a second Charmander makes sense. Then we're gonna go ahead and jet into the Mew. And we might be the ones to start taking knockouts. Alright, Level Ball will allow me to establish another Ralts. Now I know I don't have to bench Manaphy, which is a good thing. And we're gonna make our bench look nice and neat, one of each. We have Kirlia to draw, 2 more cards. We then have Mew to dig, so we're looking at the next 9 total cards after our top deck to grab the Rare Candy potentially. Hopefully that works out. My opponent, no Battle VIP Pass, but does have... okay, so that right there, that is like... them grabbing Kirlia right there off of the Level Ball is like, yes, you're deck thinning. But then, like, if you don't hit that Battle VIP Pass, you probably want to use that Level Ball for a second Charmander or a second Ralts or something along those lines. So that's definitely a very questionable choice of sequencing by opponent. Worked out because they did pull off the Battle VIP Pass, but most of the time you will not be pulling off the Battle VIP Pass. So, but anyways, so I do have Rare Candy, I do have Boss's Orders if I wanted to chase something down. So my question here is it worth it to knock out a Ralts and eliminate my opponent's draw power, knock out a Charmander to eliminate potential threats, or knock out the Mew? And now hear me out. I think knocking out the Mew has a lot of merit. Mostly because it's less dig for the Rare Candy, right? For my opponent to be able to find a response. So having thought of that, I generally think my best course of action here is to go after them. And you know what? I probably should have Rare Candied before doing all these other things just to thin. I mean, I didn't get any fires, but I could have. So I should have thinned those 3 cards. Alright. Definitely going to attack with Charizard. The question is whom? Charmander, Ralts, or Mew. So thinking long term, right? Because clearly this game is going long term. I think it might be the Ralts. And especially this memory skip Ralts is looking really spicy by my opponent. The only reason to run this is if you are actually using Psychic Energies, which could be super annoying to deal with, as I do have only one attack. So Mew can help my opponent dig for an attacker, which of course is good for them. However, this puts me at 2 Kirlias versus 1, at least for next turn, and that means extra draw for me each turn, unless they go after my Kirlia, but them having Rare Candy, Charizard, plus Boss seems a stretch. There's a Kirlia they preemptively grabbed to thin their deck to increase their chance of Battle VIP Pass, which is interesting. And we'll see. Yeah, we shall see. I fully expect my opponent to respond with a Charizard EX of their own. Yeah. We both discard Manaphy, we both played and failed Heavy Ball, so interesting how much of a mirror match this actually is. I might generally just win this because I went first more than anything. And failed the Mew and just has a Rare Candy Charizard. Okay. So we are matching up here pretty evenly. I've been pulling this off with way less cards than I did. Way less cards. Are they going to boss as well? That would be very surprising. Okay, put back the Ralts and the 2 fires. Someone actually tried to argue with me the other day, but that because the card doesn't say for you to show them, that it's technically not wrong. That it doesn't show the cards that you put back. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You might be a newer player, but no. Just no. All right, 1 card in hand for my opponent. So we're gonna go ahead and discard the Iono. So here's where I consider. So the reversal energy, having the reversal energy is actually a really big deal. So here's what I could do. I could Ultra Ball, grab another Charizard and attack with the other one, preventing my opponent from taking a knockout. Or I could let this Charizard go down and then attack with Gallade to finish it off, putting my opponent at uneven price trade-off. So I actually think that's what I'm gonna do. And then we're gonna go ahead and establish another Charmander. And we're just gonna do a little bit of damage. So trading 2-hit KOs, it's 2 Kirlias versus 1, right? So we can already see the deck size being a big advantage for me at this point in time. We're gonna trade KOs, which is perfectly fine. My potential play, I also have Ultra Ball into the Gallade to guarantee the KO. We do see a Jet for my opponent, so we'll be able to Mystere Steel. Mystere Steel cannot grab supporters, however. And I'm glad I attached that energy preemptively. I know there's a chance that my Pokemon just goes down, but that's fine. So another play I could do is... Ooh, it chooses the Ralts. I thought for sure they were going to go Charmeleon. Another play I can do is if I draw Gallade, right, which I'm not guaranteed now that I lost my Ultra Ball. If I draw the Gallade, I could go boss KO this Charmander, especially now that my opponent has filled up their bench. Why are they using this 60 HP Ralts? I don't know. They must be running at least 1 Psychic somewhere, right? Somewhere they must be. Okay, so the problem is I do not have any guarantees over over the Gallade. 1 Ultra Ball is at the bottom of the deck, but I think Gallade into boss. There we go. Gallade into boss seems like the correct play to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve here to protect the Charmeleon. Shuffle my deck as well, which I don't mind freeing up that Rare Candy. I'll go ahead and attach the basic fire here and the Charizard here. My hesitancy before promoting was exactly this, because I knew that I only had 2 energies left, but I still have my Super Rod, so that's fine. And now, I mean, my opponent getting Rare Candy Charizard EX off of Iono to 4 also seems like a stretch, but I generally think the correct play is to go boss KO the Charmander, because then my opponent will also take another prize card, And then I'll be at 4, then they'll be at 3, and then I will be able to KO with the Gallade once again. Right, which is a good thing. So goodbye research. Alright, that jet energy is potentially nice. Let's go ahead and steer still. Don't want to give my opponent the Artazon. Gonna grab the Battle VIP Pass just so that I can Ultra Ball it away. Along with the Artazon. That seems like the least useful card. And I only have one Gallade, which is unfortunate. I also only have one Super Rod. Oh no, never mind. Here's the other Super Rod. Never mind. Alright. Based on the fact that I have 2 of the supporters that I want to use, I'm gonna keep both of them in the deck. And then I'm tempted to Jet Energy the Gallade, but I don't think that's right. And then we're gonna go Boss on the Charmander. So this is because this Charizard EX is already damaged, right? So it should be good for me. And then I can do this. Very nice. The energy gets saved. If my opponent goes after the Kirlia, fair game. Not grabbing the 5th prize, not for any other reason. And I just clicked up there instead of down there. All right. So here we go. See another Mew. See a second Kirlia. So now my opponent will have the Kirlia advantage. That's for sure. Maybe I could have used the Artazon and taken advantage of that. Okay. Triple Kirlia? No. Second Charmander. Alright. I fully expect an Iono here. And now the cool thing about this is that this puts my opponent at, unless they boss, no, like even if they boss attack my Charizard, right, they can't KO. So this will put my opponent at uneven price cards, meaning, oh, and they discard the boss, perfect. Meaning if they're at 5, I can 1 KO a clean Charizard EX. That's the sort of thing that I want to try and avoid, right? I'm at 4, now I get to potential 1 KO Charizard, which actually means I should be using my Charizard to attack them. I don't want them to go down to 3 and then to 2 on purpose, so I'm definitely not going to use Gallade, even if I were able to find it. So I do need to put energies back for sure. Probably the Charmander as well. We see a switch, so not an exact mirror match. Like I said, this Ralts definitely gives me the inkling that there is a psychic energy floating around somewhere for my opponent. So my opponent has definitely made modifications to the deck. Okay, that means I don't lose my Gallade. I do get attacked onto a Charizard, which of course is less than ideal. Luminous energy, that's what it is. Interesting. Luminous energy, all right. I really wish my opponent had knocked me out though, that's for sure. Okay, so let's go Super Rod. Back the Charmander and the 2 fires. And then I kinda want to do this. And I think I am going to bench the Ralts. And then we'll go ahead and Iono here. Reducing the chance of my opponent going Rare Candy Charizard EX as much as possible. 1 Charizard EX is at the bottom of the deck, which is perfectly fine. I think I should definitely thin here because my deck is small enough. Ooh, Rare Candy. Wait, what? 1? Did I prize 2 Rare Candies? I thought I only prized 1. Didn't realize I priced 2. All right, I'm gonna body catch for another Iono just to have that in hand. And then I'll go ahead and refinement away the Ralts for sure. Okay, can I find... Okay, so I find Rare Candy. I also find Ultra Ball. think I'm forced to keep the Rare Candy, I'm pretty sure. But this is definitely getting dicey. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and... Okay, if I get Iono'd here, that's a big problem. So Research and Boss, I think, is a way to go to protect against Iono a little bit. And then I think at this point I'd rather just not draw the Artazon, so I'm gonna play it down. I know that gives them an extra whatever. It's fine, yeah. It should be fine. So I have a little bit of control. Yep, double Rare Candy. I have 3 Rare Candies in my hand. Okay, so I have a little bit of control of if my opponent can actually win. Now the good thing is, oh, actually no, never mind. I do not have any sort of control because okay, so this is actually a very rough situation because my opponent did not KO my Gallade and all right, this is very key. I priced my other Gallade and I still have not grabbed my other Gallade, all right? Both of those things are super important. That means I cannot return KO their Gallade with my Gallade. Therefore, I need to return KO with a Charizard EX. Therefore, that will put me at 1 price card left. Therefore, their Charizard EX can 1 KO me. However, they need Rare Candy Charizard EX to pull this off, or I was going to say the reversal, but they already attached 4 turn. However, well, no, because I only put 1 boss back. Okay, all 3 of my Rare Candies are at the very bottom of the deck. So if the Artazon sticks, I can shuffle the deck. But I'm pretty sure I don't have enough energy. No, I put 2 fires. Oh, yeah, I put 2 fires back. Therefore, there's only 2 in the deck. Therefore, yeah, my 2 prizes being exactly Gallade plus fire is the issue. Unless they whiff knockout here. If they whiff knockout, then we are all right, I think. Iono already played. I think they whiffed, but my prizes. Seriously, my prizes. Fire and Gallade being the last 2 prizes could have completely wrecked me. Alright. I'm not out of the woods yet. Well, actually, I probably am. If I just go boss KO the Charmander. Yeah, no, never mind. So, you know what? Okay, I know there's 3 Rare Candies at the bottom, so I'm going to shuffle the deck. Going to grab an Iono. And I think I'm going to discard the Iono. I think I need the Subrod to get back energy and or potentially a Charizard, but I'm just going to discard the Iono here. I take a KO because my opponent whiffed. There's a Rare Candy. All right, perfect. All right, let's put back the fire and just the fire. No need for anything else. And then I'm going to Rare Candy into Charizard, power myself up, and there should be 1 extra fire in there. No problem. There we go. In case of retreating necessities, and I have 2 jet energy as well. So I can actually grab the fire. It's no problem because I do have the 2 jets. So let's do this. Let's do this. And then... Sure, let's do that. And then we go boss, KO the Charmander, and that should be game. Right? I have 1 prize card left. My opponent cannot respond with any sort of Charizard EX this upcoming turn. And there's a concession. Okay, so that was actually, like, could have been pretty dicey. My opponent, like, very correctly knocked out, or went after my Charizard instead of putting themselves at uneven prize cards. However, I will say, my prize cards really affected how this game went down, because the double candy could have been problematic, and then also the Gallade and the fire could have been problematic if I don't draw the cards in the correct way, and my opponent had found Rare Candy Charizard EX into the Gallade into knockout, right? That could have really complicated things quite a lot, right? But anyways, on to the next one. Alright, so my opponent actually won the coin flip and chose that I go first. So that's number one, very scary. However, that top deck is ridiculously good. Alright, I was gonna go for a Mew. I already have Rare Candy Charizard. This hand is actually busted. Don't let your opponents go first. Unless you know it's the Lost Box mirror match, just don't let your opponents go first. Please do not do that. Alright, I'm just gonna grab another Charmander. And I mean, the Jet Energy is gonna be wasted, I guess. No, I mean, not playing it doesn't mean it gets wasted. I could have grabbed a Mew, but then hoping to hit what? Yeah, something to grab an extra Charmander or an extra Ralts, whichever I didn't grab. So just grabbing the Pokemon outright I think is great. Not going into that automatic pilot of I want to use Mew, I play Mew, therefore I want to use it. Use it there to help you get Charmanders and Ralts. If you already have your Charmanders or your Charmanders and Ralts without needing Mew, that's even better. Alright, there is merit to having Mew if you need to dig for Rare Candy, but that's fine. Yeah, so my opponent really going turbo mode here and will get the first KO, most likely, which is completely okay, because we're going to respond with an Iono and a Charizard EX off of this completely broken hand. See the water, see the Raikou. The Forest Seal Stone, there we go. So weird sequencing. Like, why would you attach instead of grabbing the Colress that you just grabbed, playing the Colress, seeing what you get? Maybe you find a switch card there, then you don't want to attach that water, or maybe you do, but now you don't have that option. So sequencing matters, all right? Sequencing matters so much. I cannot explain to you how much. All right. So there's a knockout. 8 card turns for my opponent, pretty explosive start. However, we are going to have an explosive start as well. This is like, the only thing that could make this hand better would be a Kirlia. Right? Like if that Jet was a Kirlia, then this hand would be the best hand ever. That's almost a Kirlia, not quite the Kirlia we want, but it's almost a Kirlia. So now, there is a world where I go attach all 3. I think that's a little wasteful, so I'm just gonna attack 2. Oh, I meant to go back, not clicked on. All right, I was gonna say, like, there's no point in attaching this third one because this Charmander is the biggest target for my opponent, and if they continue to go turbo and they hit the Sableye, then the Charmander is going down anyways. So definitely, I was gonna say a little bit wasteful. With the evolution, it's a little less wasteful overall. Still not the best, but get a response here, not bad. No Kirlia, however. I didn't want to Ultra Ball. Well, you know what? I guess I could have Ultra Balled. Well, all of these cards are good though. Like if I Ultra Ball, I'm not discarding anything for the Kirlia, so what's the point? And then I might actually want to tank a hit with the Charizard and then go Jet Energy into the other Charizard. So maybe that actually could have been a decent plan. My opponent drawing Colress off of my Iono is like, that has been the theme of my season so far, the 2024 season. I Iono them to 2 when they hit their last Colress, yeah, when they still have 18 cards left in their deck. That's been happening at local so much, so ridiculously much, and that's why I've been sucking at local so much anyways. But yeah, like variance is hitting me really hard as of late. But anyways, 7 cards in the Lost Zone. Dragonite in the Lost Zone, however, which is probably your best attacker. That was a conscious decision by my opponent, when Dragonite is most likely my opponent's best attacker. So, alright, now they're at 8. So, here comes the Sableye. I'm gonna lose that Charmeleon with an energy attached for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, completely senseless attaching that. On my part, I did not mean to. I chose 3 and then I started talking about it and I clicked on by mistake. I just need to click the energy back. It's fine. Just, there's no reason. Yeah, I thin the deck by 1 extra card, sure. At this point, the deck thinning from that is not so impactful compared to not needing to rely on Super Rod to power up something else. Now we are going to see the Mirage Gate onto Sableye and Greninja. Probably means the opponent's going to go and get rid of the Manaphy with the damage, which honestly I'm completely okay with. I feel like Charmeleon should be the target, but my opponent, by giving up on the Dragonite V, has basically said, you know what, I'm just not going to bother with the active Charizard, the big HP Pokemon, I'm just going to work around that, right? If I just go evolve into Charizard EX, these two Charizard EX will 100% carry me through the rest of the game, because my opponent's damage output, maximum damage output right now is 190 with this friend, with the Drapion V, alright, because Dragonite's gone. Unless they play a second copy of Dragonite, which if they do, fair game, yeah, that's completely valid. However, I'm just not even gonna bother. Yeah, I am generally quite simply not going to bother. They might have an Echoing Horn somewhere around there, which is completely fine. I will super out back the energy. You never know. I might need a third Charizard EX, but I'm in no rush. Yeah, there's no reason for me to bench anything else here, and that's the most important thing for me to realize. I could bench other stuff, right? I could set up more Kirlias to have better recovery, but with my prior knowledge of this deck, I know that maybe I'll have to deal with a Roxanne. But how are they getting through 330 HP Pokemon? And as long as I don't bench anything else, even if they knock out the Kirlia, they'll be at 3 prices, and then they'll still need to knock out both Charizard EXs. So if I lose this game, it's gonna be because they play maybe a grass type attacker that I was not considering, which we have seen zero indication to think that. One Halucha is a little deviation for the mirror match, I guess. No sign of grass energy, already playing the Mirage Gate. We are seeing one energy onto Radiant Greninja. There's the other one. I really hope my opponent remembers about the Terra protection. Alright, I really hope they remember. We shall see if they do. See a Beach Court before the flower selecting, so questionable sequencing for sure. And there's the Greninja. Please attack the active and the Kirlia. I don't mind the Kirlia going down. Alright, so they do remember the Terra bench protection. That's good for them. No Gallade for me, which is honestly fine. And all good. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the reversal energy just because, and then I could go boss. I really could. I really don't think I need to. Just gonna get rid of the Beach Courts. They've already restarted, of course. So just trying to thin the deck here as much as I can. I'm not gonna bench anything else. I'm not benching anything else under my watch, right? Maybe my opponent Echoing Horns. At some point, that's why the attachment there is so important. I will go ahead and Iono them down to 3. Could have gone boss KO the Raikou, which accelerates my win by a turn. But yeah, all good. 270 damage. I should win in 4 turns or 3. If there was Dragonite, this would be a much more perilous game. And maybe I would have more aggressively benched things and recover the Manaphy. But for now, that Raikou is doing maximum 140 damage, which is still not enough to kill the Charizard EX. And then my opponent is down 1, 2, 3 Mirage Gates. So they need, if they want to power up Drapion in 1 turn, they need to go bench Drapion, attach Raihan into the Mirage Gate. And that's 190, and that would be perfect knockout on my Charizard, but then they go down to 1 price card, and then I go Iono KO them down to 1, and the game's over. Yeah, so we see the Roxanne, completely okay with that. Double Battle VIP Pass of the Roxanne. Like I said, that's fine. But it doesn't seem to even have an attacker at this point. Yep. That should be it. And this is the, I guess, issue with Lost Box against Charizard. The HP is just too darned high. There is an Echoing Horn, however. So there's one of the pieces that my opponent could use. I guess I could have played around Echoing Horn. I did discard a few Pokemon purposely. What I could have done instead with the Super Rod is put Pokemon back from my discard pile. And then that means my opponent doesn't have to deal with that. Okay. Now, I might as well grab a Ralts, because I do get the Kirlia. That puts me closer to a boss KO onto the Raikou, but no damage from my opponent is actually a pretty big deal. Maybe this was the turn where I should have retreated that Charizard EX. Maybe that's the turn I should have done that. There is a universe where, okay, well, no Drapion incoming. No Dragonite either, because it's sitting pretty right here in the Lost Zone. And that's why it's so important to be very attentive to what your opponent is doing, what your opponent is playing at any given point. Okay, Super Rod's back. I can't believe someone actually tried to argue with me. Or tried to defend the fact that Super Rod doesn't show you. Like, ugh. Anyways. How many? 18 cards in the Lost Zone, so almost a third of their deck. One card left in deck. What do you even do at this point? There's Sableye. So Sableye will get one prize card here. If that. So if they go... maybe I shouldn't have Artazon. So let me think. If they go... I don't even know what that was. Probably energies. If they go Sableye KO Mew and then put 6 on the Charizard, that puts me at 200 damage. And then if they fill up their bench, and with the 2 Pokemon I have, I guess they don't need to fill up their bench. With 4 bench Pokemon, they can knock out my Charizard EX. So there is a universe. There is a universe where they do win. See the Mirage Gate. Uh-oh. Oh, but no attachment to the Raikou, in fact. Place down the Kyogre, which is obviously not a threat. They are down Mirage Gates, though. If they don't attach to Raikou, then that's game. Unless I play right hand and I leave my Charizard inactive. However, no shot. What? What? So maximum damage for Raikou is 120, 140, 160, 180. So neither of these dudes goes down. Right? Neither of these Pokemon actually go down. Alright, well... you know what? I'm just gonna retreat. Because if my opponent goes balls and tries to Sableye again or something, I don't even know. But we're good to go. 540 damage, and we win the next turn. I hope. I also should have drawn with Kirlia before I researched. In case I drew boss, then I just win this turn. So that was unnecessary. They're down all their Mirage Gates though. 1, 2, 3. And 1 in the Lost Zone. So I don't understand. Psychic. So they're just now playing. Kyogre is not Sableye, and there's a pass. Are we going to see a concession, or can I click? I can click. Thank you. Alright, so high HP and turn to Charizard. Very, very, very hard to deal with for Lost Box. They need an insane start, and even then, I also got an insane start, which was very nice. Sometimes you just get outpaced in the beginning, and by the time you're set up, you're a little too far behind. it was not the case here, and we were able to run off with the win. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Couple of close-ish, good educational games, I guess, for both sides. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.